Dear students, I am Umesh Patil and I welcome you all in the history session of Maharashtra State Board 9th standard. In the last video class, we have seen about our second chapter, that is India events after 1960. Through this class, we will cover our rest of the topics. So let us begin with the points. The first point in this video class, that is the changes after 1991. Changes after 1991. In this period of time, we could say that the year of 1991 is held to be very significant, very important. Why? Because in the history of the world as well as in the history of our India, this year is very significant because there were the Soviet Union. Soviet Union means today's Russia. Soviet Union, it was disintegrated into the several different small countries and the Cold War came to an end because there were two superpowers like America, that means USA, and the Soviet Union, that means today's Russia. Among these two nations, the Cold War was struggling. Okay, so the Soviet Union, as it became so weak and it disintegrated, it divided into the several small countries, and the only superpower remained in the world, that was USA. So in this way, Cold War came to an end. So in India, what happened? The government, under the leadership of Prime Minister P.V. Narasimha Rao, our government initiated many changes in the Indian economy, or during this period we could say there were number of the challenges in front of the government. Which are those challenges? Like Ram Janmabhoomi and the Babri Mosque issue. These came forefront at Ayodhya. So the government has to face lots of challenge during this year. Again, what we could say, in the same year there were the Lok Sabha elections. The Lok Sabha elections were conducted between the year 1996 to 1999. So during this period of time, the elections were conducted and no political party got majority in these Lok Sabha elections. Okay, and as no political party got majority, so the government, it was resulted into the three governments respectively for the short period of time. And this government was led by with some of the leaders, that is Atal Bihari Vajpayee, H.D. Deve Gowda and Inder Kumar Gujral. These were the leaders respectively as they were leading their parties. Okay, the next we could say, in the same year, finally, that is in the year 1999, the National Democratic Alliance, that means a kind of union or association, it came to power under the flag of Bharatiya Janata Party. And the Bharatiya Janata Party, it was led under the guidance of Atal Bihari Vajpayee, and he became the Prime Minister of our country. During his tenure, during Atal Bihari Vajpayee's period or time, he tries to establish a dialogue with the Pakistan, but was not successful. India also carried out a second nuclear test in 1998. In the year 1998, second nuclear test. First nuclear test 1974 at Pokhran. So there was second test. It was carried out in the Pokhran, and the country declared herself an atomic power. We show our capacity, our ability to prove that yes, we are also the self-sufficient and self-reliant in the atomic power. Next, in the same year 1999, there was another war between the India and the Pakistan in Kargil region over the Kashmir issue. And in this war, India defeated Pakistan. Next point we can say, that is Indian economy. That is Indian economy. Okay. Now, when we see about the Indian economy, right from the independence, the country had been acquired the modernization of our economy as well as economic self-sufficiency with social justice. These were the characteristics of our Indian economy. Okay, the modernization of economy, economic self-sufficiency and social justice have been the characteristics of our Indian economy. India wanted to acquire the modernity and self-reliance by establishing the industries and the factories in our country. Okay, we wanted to establish an economy based on social justice through the planning commission. So for that purpose, the National Planning Commission was established, and that would coordinate the development through the policy of 5-year plans. What was that? 5-year plans. Okay, and to set the goals to achieve our aim, there was the formation of 5-year plans in our country. So, the Narasimha Rao government started some of the economic reforms from 1991, and these economic reforms are called as economic liberalization. Economic liberalization means open trade, no restrictions, no permission of government. For example, if we could see during the period of P.V. Narasimha Rao, there were lots of restrictions over the Indian economy. So now these, after 1991, if any foreign company or if any foreign person wants to trade with us or wants to establish a company in our India, so they were free to do the business. There were not much restrictions and the permissions to do so. So there were liberalization of the economy. So the Indian economy slowly got flourished, and as a result, the implementation of this liberalization policy, we could say that number of the foreign investments in the India increased. There were skilled Indian professionals. They helped in the field of information and technology, and they opened the several avenues, several opportunities and employment in the country. So everyone could get engaged in the employment. Okay, these changes after 1991 are so important, as this term clarified as a globalization in the world. Okay, so the India's economy will join with the world economy. That is called globalization. Next point we can say, that is the development and the progress in the field of science and technology. Now, when we will talk about this point, there are two major events must be mentioned while describing the India's efforts towards the self-reliance, self-sufficiency or independent. It's a preparedness. So, the first we could say, Dr. M.S. Swaminathan. Dr. M.S. Swaminathan was known as the father of Green Revolution. Okay, the father of Green Revolution in the 1965. In the 1965. According to his contribution, we can say he implemented new scientific agricultural technology to produce the food grains, especially the wheat. He designed yielded variety of wheat to maintain the quality of the wheat, and slowly it resulted into the increase of the production of food grains. Okay. Then the next we can say the experiment in the cooperative dairy movement, which was led under the guidance of the Dr. Verghese Kurien, who led the increase of milk production in our country, and this is called as a white revolution. Okay. The next we can say that India had also made lots of progress in the field of atomic energy, that again we could say in the space research. Again, the Dr. Homi Bhabha laid the foundation of the Indian atomic power program in our country. India insisted using the atomic energy for peaceful purposes. Now, what are these? Like generating the electricity, pharmaceuticals like all the drugs and the medicines. Again, we can say in the field of defense. Okay. These all means were there as peaceful means. India also has achieved very considerable success in the space technology as well. Why? Because in the year 1975, we can see the India launched the first satellite, that was the Aryabhatta. And today we could say that many satellites have been launched under these kind of program in our country. And India also have successfully made the advancement or achievement in the field of telecom sectors, like telecommunication sectors, mobiles and technology. So these all were the changes in the field of science and technology. Next we could say that is changes in the social field. Now see, during this period, there were several changes which took place in the field, that means in the social field in our India. Now, which are those? Among that, some of the changes are related with the issues of empowerment of women. And the other hand, we could say some of the issues were related with the policies regarding to the uplift of the deprived sections, like backward sections, that means the scheduled tribes and the scheduled caste. Okay, we wanted to uplift, we wanted to make development of these society, of these weaker section. So to promote the all-round development of women and the children or the child, there was a separate department, that was the Department of Women and Children Development. It was created in the year 1985. In the year 1985, under the Ministry of Human Resource Development. According to this, some laws were made to ensure the implementation of several schemes and the policies for the weaker section. Okay, among that we could see the first one, the Dowry Act prohibition, the prohibition of Dowry Act. The next one we can say, it again include the prohibition in the equal salary and the equal wages. So this act was made according to the 73rd and 74th amendment in the constitutional provision. Okay, again what we can say, the next, some of the seats were reserved for the women in the social government bodies. That means only the females can lead, female can be post, female can apply for the jobs, etc. For example, government bodies like ZPs, municipalities, Panchayat Samitis, Panchayat, Gram Panchayat, whatever the government bodies are there will be the reserved seats for the women for their upliftment and the empowerment of the women or the progress of the women. According to the makers of the Indian Constitution, some of the constituents of the Indian society were deprived of the dignity and the equal opportunities due to the caste system in our country. There was a caste system. As there was a discrimination of the gender, simultaneously we could say there was a caste system. Upper caste, lower caste, okay, inferior, superior. Caste system was the inconvenience place in our country. So for that purpose, the Kakasai-Kolalkar Commission was set up in the year 1953. In the year 1953. Why? Because to study the social economical condition of the deprived section or the scheduled tribes or the scheduled caste. Okay, so through this what they will understand, they will recommend to improve their conditions. Then in the year 1978, a commission was constituted under the chairmanship of B.P. Mandal to study the issues of the backward classes. And according to this, the policy of reservation was adopted in order to strengthen the representation of backward sections in the various services and the institutions. Okay, and the government passed the Prevention of Atrocities Act. Okay, in the year 1989. 1989 Atrocities Act. Because if any upper class or the superior class having the injustice with the backward classes, so to protect their dignity and the status, there should not be any injustice with such classes. The Atrocity Act was implemented, and this act enables those belongings to the scheduled caste and the scheduled tribes to live with the dignity and to respect and to have the freedom, not to have fear or not to have any violence of the upper classes. So upper class, they cannot abuse, they cannot exploit the lower classes like scheduled caste or scheduled tribes or deprived section, whatever. Okay, so in this way we can say the changes in the social field. Next one is the globalization. Globalization 1991. So globalization brought about many changes in the different fields like the economical field, politics, science, technology. In this society, it brought up a drastic change or sea change in the social or the cultural aspect of our country. We have discussed some of these points related to the changes of the above programs. Okay, now the India has emerged as an important country on the global sphere, in the global scene, in the different field. Now, which are those? The India is an important member of the international organization like G20. Okay, not only this, but India has become the member of the BRICS. BRICS means Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa. So India has experienced an important revolutions in the field of telecommunication technology as well, like mobile phones, internet and the communication facilities. These all are based on the satellite, and these all have spread all across our country. Again, in the political field, India also has demonstrated to function very successfully as a democratic nation, and all these has been resulted into the total transformation in the lifestyle related to their day-to-day life, related to their dietary system, their language, their clothing, their habits, everything, their beliefs, their tradition, their customs, everything is involved in it. So we could say the great sea change has been done into the Indian society through the globalization. So students, you have understood this lesson very well. In the next chapter, we are going to learn it about some internal changes before the India. Until then, have a nice day and thank you.